breathtaking is the coastal drive from Hue to Hoi An? Really? What hidden stories rest beneath the calm waters of Lap An Lagoon? From the summit of the Hoi An Pass, what views unfold that most travelers never expect? Have you ever crossed a bridge shaped like a dragon and watched it come alive? What does it feel like to wander the lantern-lit streets of Hoi An at ground level? And why does the Fujian Assembly Hall hold such deep meaning for the people who live here? This video answers all of those questions and reveals even more along the way.
We wake to a soft, rainy morning in Hue, the city wrapped in a wet mist as we climb aboard our bus. With the windows streaked by fresh rain, we begin our 130-kilometer journey south toward Hoi An, our home for the next 2 nights. We continue south along National Highway 1, the road curling between mountains and sea. Before long, we pull over at Lap An Lagoon, a vast glassy stretch of water cradled between the emerald slopes of the Bac Ma Range and the white sands of Lung Ko Bay. This lagoon sits in a rare coastal depression formed where mountain runoff meets the slow tidal breath of the East Sea. Over thousands of years, sediment carried down from the granite peaks settled here, creating a shallow, mineral-rich basin perfect for aquaculture. Today, Lap An is famous for its oyster farms. Wooden stakes rise from the water like a forest of thin silhouettes, marking the lines where local families cultivate oysters in the nutrient-dense mud. At low tide, you can see farmers wading out to tend their beds. At high tide, the lagoon becomes a mirror reflecting the mountains above. It's a quiet, almost otherworldly stop, a blend of geology, tradition, and the slow rhythm of coastal life. I move closer to the cluster of fishing boats that had just returned from hauling in their oyster lines. Along the way, I step onto thousands of opened and discarded oyster shells from previous farming activities. Up close, I can see thousands of dark, mud-streaked oyster shells strung together along fine nylon ropes, the standard longline method used in this lagoon. Each shell acts as a seed surface where new oysters attach and grow, forming dense clusters that the fishermen lift from the water during harvest. Small groups of people work to bring in the oysters and then offload them into piles before sorting and processing them. Some husband and wife teams work side by side to unload their boats. Here, a woman pushes a heavy wheelbarrow piled high with freshly harvested oysters toward the shore, emptying the load onto a growing mound where the catch will be sorted, graded, and processed. Elsewhere on the lagoon, I drift past long, narrow fishing boats and the round wooden coracles anchored close to shore. Looking out across the water, a forest of wooden stakes rises from the surface, the skeletal framework of the lagoon's oyster farms. Each stake anchors long ropes or mesh lines beneath the water where oysters cling, grow, and fatten in the nutrient-rich shallows. From a distance, the stakes look almost sculptural, but up close they reveal the quiet, methodical rhythm of the aquaculture that sustains this community.
Leaving Lap An Lagoon behind, we rejoined the coastal road and began the steady climb into the Bac Ma Mountains. The scenery shifted quickly, the flat, mirror-calm water giving way to rising slopes wrapped in mist. With every turn, the road lifted us higher, the air cooling as the coastline dropped away below. It's the kind of ascent where you feel the landscape changing around you, guiding you toward the top of the legendary Hoi An Pass. By the time we reached the top of the pass, the rain had turned heavy. An made the call to keep going toward Da Nang rather than stop, so we pushed on, missing the old French-era structures and the sweeping vista that usually greet travelers at the summit. We continued our journey, descending quickly out of the mountains toward Da Nang. As the road dropped, the rain finally eased, though the sky stayed dark and heavy above us. By the time we reached the outskirts of the city, the clouds were still hanging low, and ahead of us, one of Da Nang's most iconic landmarks came into view. The Dragon Bridge, stretching across the Han River like a massive steel serpent. We pulled off onto a quiet little side road, grabbed a few fun selfies with this iconic bridge towering behind us, and then eased back onto the main route, ready to actually cross this one-of-a-kind structure for ourselves. Rising above the Han River, Da Nang's Dragon Bridge stands as one of Vietnam's most striking modern landmarks. Spanning 666 meters, this massive steel structure was completed in 2013 and built at a cost of nearly $88 million. Its form isn't just decorative. The entire bridge is shaped like a golden dragon, a symbol deeply rooted in Vietnamese culture, representing power, prosperity, and good fortune. The bridge carries 6 lanes of traffic, acting as the fastest route from Da Nang International Airport to the city's eastern coastline. For locals, it's a vital connection. For travelers, it's an unforgettable sight, especially at night when the dragon's body glows with shifting colors that ripple across its scales. But the Dragon Bridge is most famous for what happens on weekends. Every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at 9 p.m., crowds gather along the riverbanks as the dragon's head comes alive. In a dramatic display, it breathes bursts of fire into the night sky, followed by powerful jets of water that arc over the roadway. The show lasts about 15 minutes, transforming the bridge into a living piece of art and turning the riverfront into one of Da Nang's most energetic gathering places. Today, the Dragon Bridge is more than a crossing. It's a symbol of Da Nang's rapid growth, its modern identity, and its ambition to blend tradition with innovation. Whether you're driving across it or watching the fire show from below, this iconic structure leaves a lasting impression on everyone who visits. After a smooth drive into Hoi An, we reached our stay for the next 2 nights. Riverside Impressions Villa, a small boutique hotel tucked just off the water. From the outside, it felt cozy and inviting, with a blend of traditional Vietnamese design and modern comfort. Stepping into Riverside Impressions Villa felt like entering a quiet retreat along the Thu Ban River. This small boutique hotel blends traditional Vietnamese charm with modern comfort, offering a peaceful escape just minutes from Hoi An's historic center. Warm wooden accents, a cozy courtyard with a koi pond, and the gentle sound of the river create an inviting atmosphere the moment you arrive. My room was a comfortable size, centered around a large, inviting bed with plenty of space to spread out my laptop and back up all my video files from the last couple of days. But the real surprise was the view out the back. The balcony overlooked the Thu Ban River, calm and glassy in the afternoon light, with a small fish pond just below adding to the peaceful scene. It was beautiful, though definitely mosquito heaven once the sun went down. Just off to the side stood a tall coconut tree, absolutely loaded with coconuts. They looked close enough to grab, but were just out of reach, and of course, sitting on the neighbor's property. After settling into the hotel and taking a short rest, we met up with An once again and followed her into the city center for a guided afternoon tour. We crossed the Thu Ban River via the Cum Nam Bridge and arrived at the well-known Lantern Square, a public space named for the towering lantern sculpture that stands proudly at its center. A statue here depicts an elderly craftsman teaching young children the traditional art of lantern making. And although the resemblance might catch your eye, this figure is not Ho Chi Minh. Our first stop was the Fujian Assembly Hall. Before you even enter the temple, an ornate ceramic dragon sculpture welcomes you, echoing the hall's deep Chinese Fujian heritage. Seen here is the same intricate mosaic detailing we encountered at the Citadel in Hue. In the courtyard, we came across a striking miniature landscape sculpture, an intricate model of the Great Wall winding through mossy hills and tiny pagodas. It's a beautiful piece of craftsmanship, adding a touch of Fujian heritage to the temple grounds. We enter the main temple building, ready to see what hidden wonders are waiting just out of sight. Stepping into the main temple building, you're immediately overwhelmed by a burst of color. Lacquered reds and golds shimmering from every direction. Murals covering the walls and statues crowding the altars in a dazzling display. At the center stands the statue of Tian Hao, the sea goddess revered by Fujian sailors, flanked by her 2 attendants, Tian Linyan and Tuan Fang Ni, who are said to hear the cries of those in need and summon the winds to guide them home. Surrounding them are rows of ancestral tablets, guardian figures, and smaller deities, each adding to the rich tapestry of devotion that fills the hall. It's an explosion of artistry and faith, all unfolding the moment you cross the threshold. Behind the main sanctuary sits a quieter rear hall, where another altar glows beneath a mural of 2 dragons circling a fiery pearl. Here, 5 small attendant deities stand in a row, each representing guardians who watch over travelers, families, and the community. Brass incense burners, fresh chrysanthemums, and intricate lacquerwork surround them, creating a space that feels both intimate and deeply rooted in Fujian tradition. From the ceiling hang dozens of conical incense coils, each one slowly burning its way upward. These spirals aren't ordinary incense. They're long burning temple coils that can last anywhere from several days to multiple weeks, depending on their size. Worshippers often attach small prayer tags to them, letting their wishes rise with the smoke as the coils burn continuously above the altar. Back in the city streets, we drift past colorful shops and busy eateries, surrounded by a sea of tourists that easily eclipses the number of locals. Hoi An is famous for its traditional craftsmanship, especially its thriving textile and tailoring industry. The city is known across Vietnam for producing high-quality garments, hand-woven fabrics, and custom-tailored clothing that can be made in just a day. From silk lanterns to embroidered textiles, Hoi An's workshops continue techniques that have been passed down for generations, making the town a major center of artisanal manufacturing. This is the Japanese covered bridge in Hoi An, a 16th century structure built by the Japanese community and later modified by the Vietnamese and Chinese. We come across a lovely old lady sitting quietly along the street, her baskets filled with tiny clay animals, each one shaped after the 12 signs of the zodiac. She smiles as we look closer, and we realize these aren't just figurines, they're whistles. A gentle blow brings each animal to life with a soft chirping note. On a quiet street, we come across a stone monument honoring Kazimierz Kwiatkowski, Kazik, the Polish conservationist who helped preserve this ancient town and its surrounding heritage sites. Kazik's preservation work was so influential that it helped pave the way for Hoi An to be recognized as a UNESCO World Heritage Site. His legacy lives on in every restored street, temple, and historic home that still stands today. On the Tu Bon River, fishermen glide across the water with quiet, practiced precision, their nets sweeping in gentle arcs as the evening light dances across the surface. Nearby, tourist boats drift alongside them, moving at the same unhurried pace, sharing the river's calm rhythm. Together, they create a scene where daily life and discovery flow side by side, carried by the same shimmering current. When evening falls and the sky slips into darkness, the river transforms into a glowing ribbon of color. Lanterns ignite one by one, casting reds, greens, purples, and golds across the water, until the whole scene shimmers like a moving festival of light. Tourist boats drift through this glowing maze, their lanterns swaying gently as they crisscross the river. You can hear the soft excitement, cameras clicking, people leaning over the rails to capture the magic, while the reflections ripple beneath them, turning every moment into something unforgettable. As evening envelops us, we step into a small lantern-making home business, where soft light and careful hands bring each lantern to life.
Okay, so when I show you like this, we made this lantern from bamboo, and then we cover it with silk. We have a many different shape of lantern, and we call it different name. You can see this one. The first one, the big on top, it look like hot air balloon. We call it sunrise. Yeah, upside down in sunset. Brown one, we call it moon. You see the brown one? It's moon. And then the middle one is like this one, the shape. We call it diamond. And all this lantern, after making, it's foldable.
Tomorrow, we launch into a Tu Bon River adventure, sailing through tight, winding channels to see what secrets the river is ready to reveal. Come along for the discovery.